Hey, it's Faith and welcome back to the channel. I came down to the lake today with the hope of shooting this video on the beach, but looks can be deceiving. It's very sunny outside, but it's very chilly. I took my equipment out and I was freezing, so I had to come back to the car and put my little vest on to keep warm. For those who may be watching from different time zones, I just want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. I know I have a friend in England, and she did message me last night. It was about 3 o'clock my time. I couldn't sleep, and I guess her message came in at I guess they're 6 hours ahead in England. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. For those who previously tuned into my first video and gave feedback, comments, even subscribed or shared, I'm greatly appreciative and I thank you. My goal in sharing this video, and more specifically in starting this channel, is to start a journey of getting back to health, weight loss, and just overall health and well-being for, somebody who's up there in age. I'm 50 years old, but this can also resonate with people who may not be as old as I am, maybe older, even maybe younger. Weight loss is something that's been around for a long time, and there are a lot of people out there who are obese. It's an epidemic, and it hasn't helped over the last 2 years, especially during COVID, where people have been sedentary, staying at home, not as active, going out for walks, with all the lockdowns and everything. So it's understandable, ordering in Uber Eats and, all those other different apps that make it so easy and accessible to get junk food. So my overall goal in doing this channel, people would be wondering, well, why are you doing a channel and why are you telling people about your weight loss? Well, that's a good question, but I'm doing it more because I just feel I have a story to tell and a journey to share. And I also think it can help to keep me motivated and accountable, because I already have some friends who are saying, hey Faith, I'm looking forward to your next video. So I'm looking forward to that. I've lost weight in the past before, but I think I went into it with the wrong mindset. I wasn't looking at it from a health perspective. I was looking at it more from a superficial perspective. To look good, to fit into that size 12, that size 10. It can't fit, but you think, oh, I'm going to lose 10 pounds or 15 pounds. So I've done it through different means, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate, through extreme dieting, fasting, extreme exercising. There's so many different crazy diets out there, but what they don't tell you is it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it's there to make money off of you. Very few people are willing to be honest with you, to tell you, how to go about proper weight loss, through, and that's why what I want to talk about today is I want to talk about SMART goals. And it could be applied to any type of goal setting, whether it's weight loss, whether it's writing a book, whether it's setting financial goals. So what SMART refers to is, goals that are specific, goals that are measurable, achievable or attainable, S.M.A.R., realistic, and timed. So SMART, S.M.A.R.T. So I don't want to set a goal to say, oh, I just want to lose weight. That is too broad a statement, because it doesn't give me a set point. How much weight do I want to lose? It's not just about losing weight. So I went on the scale yesterday. Oh my goodness. It could have been a lot worse, because, at my highest, like I indicated, I was like 300 pounds. That is just unimaginable, and it's unbelievable. But I went on the scale yesterday, and it's a number that I don't specifically like, but the reality is the reality, you know? And that number is, should I tell? It was 264.4. I was actually at a store this morning, and this guy referred to me as being thick. Oh my goodness. So I guess, you know, thick is seen as undesirable, you know, thin is the in thing. But I guess it depends on which culture you're from. You know, you go to certain African countries and, you know, people like thick, and then other people don't like thick, they like thin. My goal is neither to be thick nor thin, but my goal is to be healthy. So when I think about a healthy goal weight, you know, having spoken to doctors and just knowing my body for most of my life, you know, up until about age 40, 180 pounds is an ideal goal weight for me, because, you know, it's the BMI ratio, you know, it's about 27% body fat. You know, if I'm in the 180 range, or, you know, even between 24 and 27, I feel good. My clothes fit better, and then I didn't have as many health problems as I have being the weight that I am. Like I said, you know, I suffer from sleep apnea. I didn't really sleep well last night, and I'm extremely exhausted right now, but I decided, you know what, I didn't want to lie in bed, and I decided to, you know, try to come out and be a little bit productive. But yeah, you know, you can get high blood pressure, you can get pre-diabetes or diabetes, and a whole other multitude of health issues. So getting back to the SMART goals. So what it is, you know, we sometimes set goals, you know, New Year's resolutions, and, you know, say, oh, I want to lose 100 pounds, but is that really realistic? It has to be specific, and it has to be specific to the individual. So in my particular case, and yours could definitely be different, I'm at 264.4. My goal is to get down to 180. So that means I have to lose at around 80 pounds. So yes, my specific goal is to lose 80 pounds. And I think I would like to lose it, you know, in a healthy way. And that would probably be losing 2.5 pounds a week. I think that's achievable. If I cut back on the sugar, and, you know, if I eat more leafy greens and vegetables, and if I exercise, you know, 2 to 3 times a week. I've done it before, but I didn't make it a regular lifestyle thing. I achieved the weight loss. I looked good, you know, I was feeling myself, you know, wearing, you know, nice clothes. But then I lost sight of what it is that I had done. You know, it became all superficial. And then, you know, when stressors come on, you're totally stressed due to work or due to other life events, you know, the cortisol levels go up. Then it's easy to put the weight back on. And sometimes you put it on with even a greater vengeance. And then it's harder to even take off after that. So my specific goal is 80 pounds. How am I going to measure it? Well, I took out the tape measure. So I'm 264.4 pounds. I took out the tape measure, and what I did was I measured, you know, every single part of my body, you know, and I recorded it. So I measured my neck. I measured my, on the right side, because the right side of the body is usually bigger than the left, you know, or it depends, you know, this is more my dominant hand, this is more my dominant side. So I took my neck circumference, and then I took, you know, my arm, you know, to see how much inches it is. I measured it in inches. I went around my chest area. I also went around my midsection, my waist, my hips, my thigh, and my cuff. And I've written it all down. So 264.4, and I have all the measurements written down. So that will give me a starting point. That is how I'm going to be able to measure how I'm improving. So I'm not going to get on the scale every single day because it's pointless and it'll probably get me a little bit discouraged. You know, weight can fluctuate, it can go up and down. I think what is realistic is to maybe check it once a month, and to check the measurements once a month. You know, you may not notice it in weight right away, but for me and my body, I notice it in inches. So, you know, if I build more muscle, I could weigh a little bit heavier. So that's not indicative of, you know, success or failure. Sometimes it comes off in inches first. My clothes fit better. I feel better. You know, my skin, you know, doesn't have rashes or blemishes. And, you know, I just have an overall general feeling of well-being. So, you know, I set a specific goal, you know, of 80 pounds. Is it measurable? Yes, I've measured it. You know, I'm going to be exercising 2 to 3 times a week, you know, going to the gym at Planet Fitness and, you know, doing cardio, you know, for 30 minutes each time I go. And I'll also be doing weight training, you know, so I might do free weights. They're a little bit more challenging, or I can go in the machines. So I'll be doing that 2 to 3 times a week. So I may say, okay, I'm going to go Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You know, if I may miss a day for whatever reason, because, you know, I haven't slept well, you know, I will try to make it up and keep myself accountable. And it's also good to keep a journal, you know, of when you go, you know, what kind of weights you've done, you know, how much pounds that you put on, because you also want to see a level of progression. You know, you may start at 10 pounds on one machine, you know, and do like 3 or 4 reps of 12, you know, with periods of rest in between, you know, maybe a minute or two, you know, and over time you'll see a difference because, you know, maybe you may not have to lift 10 pounds anymore on your shoulders. You know, maybe the muscle would have been built up enough and, you know, you can progress to, you know, 20 pounds. So in addition to exercising 2 to 3 times a week, I also have to be cognizant of what I put in my mouth. You know, keep it structured. You know, eating 3 meals a day doesn't work for me. What I like to do is I like to do intermittent fasting. So, you know, I may fast for 16 hours. So, you know, my last meal would be like at 6 o'clock in the evening. And, you know, because depending on what time I go to sleep, you know, sometimes 7 o'clock, sometimes 8 o'clock. But then once I finish my last meal, I wait 16 hours and I don't eat again. So I may not have another meal until, you know, 10 o'clock the next morning. You know, so if I finish eating at 6 in the morning makes 12, you know, 4 additional hours is 10. So I would eat, you know, all of my meals between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. and cut out evening eating, because, you know, my body in particular does not digest food, especially when I lie down and you know, go to sleep like that. So so it has to be measurable, timed. You know, 80 pounds, you know, what is a realistic amount of time to lose the 80 pounds? Well, I think if I lost 2.5 pounds a week, which is 10 pounds a month, I could probably lose the 80 pounds in 8 months. You know, I've done it in 4 months before, you know, but that was a bit extreme and unrealistic and obviously bound to set me up for failure. You know, it just wasn't sustainable. But if you make it a part of your lifestyle and, you know, making healthy choices each and every day, and it just becomes habitual and, you know, you live above the veil of consciousness, you know, you're conscious, you know. Sometimes it's just so easy to go back into this unconscious zone where, you know, you're like a zombie or, you know, like a robot and just going through the motions. And, you know, that's when things for me tend to fall apart. You know, I lose focus. It's timed, you know. I think 8 months is achievable. Yes, do I want it tomorrow? Do I want it yesterday? Do I want to be able to fit into a 2-piece, you know, by this summer? Absolutely. But is that realistic? No, it's not realistic. I could probably do it, but it's not sustainable. So your goals have to be specific. It has to be measurable. You know, how are you going to measure it? You know, once a month. Is it attainable? Yeah, in my case, it's attainable. You know, 2.5 pounds a week over 8 months. It's realistic. You know, I'm not crash dieting. I'm not doing something that is excessive or extreme. And, you know, it's timed. So I think, you know, this is a good thing. You know, as I go through this journey, I will be letting you know what my progress is on a monthly basis, checking in with you. You know, I'll also be doing some meal prep and, you know, showing you what I eat from time to time. And getting on the scale and, you know, making, you know, showing, you know, what the weight is and stuff like that, and, you know, taking the measurements. I think that's the only way to keep us accountable. So I think each and every one of us can resonate with this this topic. You know, at some point, you know, we've gained, you know, weight, unwanted weight, and there is a way to get it off. You know, I used to be a personal trainer, and to think that I've allowed myself to get to this place, you know, oftentimes we tend to have the theory in our minds, but, you know, not putting it into practice. So I'm able to sort of do for others that which I should do for myself, but it's easier sometimes to take care of other people, and we forget ourselves in the mix. So I just want to say thank you. If this video resonates with you, please feel free to subscribe, share, press the like button, and I look forward to talking to you again. Until next time, have a great day. Bye.